inspire, educate and promote aviation heritage through the operation and demonstration of these rare and historical aircraft. And here we come displaying for you now these two gorgeous aircraft, the Spitfire Mark 19 and the P-51 Mustang. The silhouettes of those aircraft there, Simon, is just gorgeous, isn't it?
It is. It's incredible.
The unmistakable shape of the Spitfire underneath classic outline of the P-51. Merlin engine, that classic sound in the Spitfire. Well, in fact, the Mark 19 displayed for you here is actually being powered by a 36.7 litre Rolls-Royce Griffin engine. Uniquely, the P-51 Mustang, which is obviously an American long-range aircraft, is being powered by the Merlin engine that you would normally see in the Spitfire. That's a swap. There you go. It gives you that unique sound of those two fantastic powerhouses as they display for us here today. And the P-51 Mustang. In 1945, they moved to Belgium and Holland. The aircraft was engaged on active service with 16th Squadron right up until the end of the war and participated in Operation Crossbow, which was used to detect V-1 and V-2 Vengeance weapon rocket launch sites. At the end of the war, it remained on duty in Germany until March 1946, when it returned to the UK and at that point was placed in storage. Then in 1950, it was one of several Mark 19 Spitfires selected to convert into the meteorological research known as temperature and humidity, recognized as an ambassador for Rolls-Royce during the displays and charity events around the UK. And not only does it represent the heritage of the Spitfire and Rolls-Royce, the engines that powered them, it highlights the constant technical development of both the aircraft and its engines, and honours the pilots of all nations who flew them, and the men and women who built and maintained them. Piloted today by Chris Hadlow, an accomplished pilot born in Singapore who studied transport management and law before graduating and joining the Royal Air Force in 1990. He's flown operationally over the former Yugoslavia. That beautiful whine of that beautiful Merlin engine. So the addition of the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine to the P-51 Mustang transformed Merlin-powered Mustang, sometimes called the plane that won the war. Today, conventional wisdom is that the American daylight bombing campaign over Europe succeeded only because US fighters were able to defeat the German fighter force. Moreover, US airmen defeated the Luftwaffe not by bombing its aircraft production nor by attacking its fuel supply, neither inflicting any knockout blows, but by killing its pilots. plane that won the war, the Mustang succeeded mainly because of that Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, and in his memoir, the Mustang ace, Colonel Clarence E. Bud Anderson, an American pilot, wrote that the Mustang went like hell because the Merlin had great gobs of power and was equally at home high or low thanks to its two-stage, two-speed supercharger, giving it that unique whine and sing as it comes in. The definitive P-51D was used by the US Air Force's 8th Air Force to escort bombers in raids over Germany, while the RAF's 2nd Tactical Air Force and the US Air Force's 9th Air Force using Merlin-powered Mustangs as fighter bombers, roles in which Mustang helped ensure Allied air superiority in 1944. The P-51 was used by the Allied Air Forces in North Africa, the Mediterranean, the Italian and the Pacific theatres. During World War II, Mustang pilots claimed to have destroyed 4,950 enemy aircraft. Williams, Steg as we call him, he's been working with Rolls-Royce flight operation team since 2016, joining them full-time in 2020. He also flies.
Imagine a sky full of them, what it must have looked like, and how imposing that must have looked and sounded like. I would have liked to have seen it.
And as we go for now, something else from the 30s and 40s, the Bristol Blenheim Mark I. Manufactured in 1934, powered by two Bristol Mercury so the Bristol Blenheim Mark I, a truly unique British aircraft. As a type, the aircraft's history is long and formative and an important milestone in the history of British aviation. Designed as a small airliner in the early 30s by Frank Barnwell, the chief designer of the Bristol Aircraft Company. It was funded by Lord Rothermere, who named it Britain's first, and it proved much faster than the latest biplane fighters with a speed of over 300 miles an hour, and Rothmore promptly donated it to the nation. Barnwell then redesigned the aircraft as a bomber, and it became the first stressed skin aircraft with hydraulic actuated undercarriage, flaps and turrets accepted by the Royal Air Force. It was the fastest bomber of its day. It became the backbone of the RAF's light bomber force. In fact, at the start of World War II, the RAF had over 1,000 Blenheims in service to fighters, but to anti-aircraft fire, especially when they were attacking ships. Even so, it was well liked by its crews, and Churchill paid homage to their bravery, comparing them to the charge of the Light Brigade. The Blenheim was pressed into many roles for which it was not primarily designed, such as long-range and night fighter duties. It became the first radar-equipped night fighter, and was the aircraft that got the first kill using that equipment. Operated for you today by the Aircraft Restoration Company. Aircraft engineer. He made his debut flying in 1987. Only to be destroyed by an accident almost a month later. Suffice to say, the accident was not due to mechanical faults. But determined not to be without a Blenheim, another airframe was found, and the same team gave themselves 5 years to complete the project, with the aircraft flying in 1993, and it is now the only flying example of a Blenheim representing the light bombers of the early war years. Sadly, the aircraft suffered another accident whilst landing at Duxford, again through no fault of the aircraft itself. But it was dismantled with the ownership transferring to Blenheim, Duxford in December 2003. It was then decided the aircraft could be repaired, and work started with a team made up of full-time staff and some original and new volunteers. Initially, work concentrated on the centre section and fuselage, and it was at this stage that a feasibility study was carried out to see if the aircraft could be converted to Blenheim Mark I status. Fortunately for them, a Mark I nose had come into possession of the team, and it was realised that the production brake at the rear of the fuselage was the same for all Marks of Blenheim, so the decision was made to go ahead with the conversion to a unique face, a very unique nose, and that is the Mark I nose. And that in itself has an interesting history. It was donated to the team, and it was obtained by an employee, Ralph Nelson, after World War II. And he converted it into a car. That's right, the nose of the aircraft flying today was converted by a Bristol employee into a car. He mounted it on an Austin 7 chassis with the help of some colleagues who helped with that conversion. The car was battery powered, and he actually drove around Bristol in it until about 1957 when it was damaged by fire. Fortunately though, Ralph had kept not only that nose, but a considerable amount of interior fittings and most of the control systems, including the original seat. So these were donated, refurbished and refitted as well. The beautiful noise of those Mercury engines, they were overhauled in-house before being stripped down to their component parts and checked for wear and damage, and then reassembled. All the ancillary items such as carburetors, pumps, etc., and all those other things that make up the engines were examined and checked for airworthiness before being refitted.
What?
In his own words, he grew up and got a proper job flying Airbuses out of Heathrow, but he has great fun flying these historical aircraft. There we go. What an absolutely beautiful outline in the sky. Simon, that for me, with the noise coming from those fantastic Mercury engines. I mean, the horsepower, it does, doesn't it? You can just imagine, as you say, you know, that's early World War II bomber.
Absolutely.
And, you know, they don't, can you please make yourself known and head to the Gilder Rose pub, and, as if by magic, arriving for us now, we have Squadron Leader Graham Muscat, who is Red 10 in that helicopter in front of us now. Simon, Mr. Southport, I've been talking about aircraft all day. I'm going to put you on the spot. Go on. What can you tell me about the transit helicopter that Red 10 is using right now?
What, you mean the Juno HT1?
How did you know it was that?
Well, there you go, you see, isn't it funny? I've been doing my prep. It's the Juno HT1. Airbus Helicopters Juno HT1 provides basic rotary wing training role for the #1 flying school. That's at RAF Shawbury, the oldest military pilot training school in the world. In the world, not just the UK, in the world. Now, Red 10 is landing. Now, can you tell us a bit about Red 10? Because Red 10 has he has a specific job to play, doesn't he?
Absolutely. Red 10, his job is to make sure, well, he flies the 10th aircraft. So if ever, obviously we're flying, the Red Arrows displaying in formation of 9 for you later today. Red 10 obviously flies in as well in the 10th aircraft. So if we're in the unfortunate position that one of the aircraft goes tech, there's still a spare aircraft. He's also responsible for making sure that the photography takes place nicely. So where you see the Red Arrows flying over the bomber, yeah, exactly, or whether it's flying over New York, the Statue of Liberty, Red 10's the guy taking all the photos. He's also very, very hot on keeping the team on time to meet the general public. So if they say that they're going to be there at a certain time. And of course, Squadron Leader Graham Muscat, his main role for us here today will be to give us the fantastic commentary when the Red Arrows come on. And I have to say, we have a packed 23-minute display for the Red Arrows. Yeah. Wow.
back temperature, it makes the smoke colours burn a lot more brightly. In addition to that, it ensures airflow and world famous Diamond 9 formation. Before we start the second half, this is a more dynamic, heart-pumping, jaw-dropping formation flying. In from the right, the smoke comes out once again, the red arrows, the Diamond 9. Coming out with 689 for the left, named as Hannah, named after Scorpio Ray Hannah, one of the first members of the team, the only team leader for each of our hours for 4 years. He put the team from a 7-ship to a 9-ship, and of course, formed our world famous trademark Diamond 9. Enid from the right, Hannah from the left, 4-5-4 cross. preparations for the Royal Canadian 100 and of course fly the Union colours all across the North America. 363 Aileron Road. Trail in the sky for the first part of the maneuver called the surface. And you can see that red light in the very picture of the sky point up underneath the tail of the aeroplane. That sky point is a picture of approximately 5 minutes of light smoke, 1 minute of smoke, 1 minute of red smoke. On the flag, the 3 to 4 G extremely hard before making to maintain. The smoke will come on as they complete to the surface with the tango. Our 60th anniversary break.